You've got 60 cards total, but
Oh,
you just have lands and creatures. You don't have any like other.
oh yeah, no, that's supposed to be that way.
Oh, then you're perfectly fine. Your deck is good to go then.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought it was right because it let me send it. It was like 60 total when I did before. I thought like maybe it was
Yeah, no,
uh
I just didn't know if you thought it was 100, so that's why you didn't put any like instant sorceries or enchantments in there.
no, it's built to punish people for playing it. Well, it's gruel and
Okay.
unusual. It's meant to punish people for playing non-creature spells. So
Okay.
it's
All
yeah,
right.
it's like
Okay,
so
then we are good to go.
hello everyone. Welcome to season 2, episode 21 of Hexproof from Ward.
Woo!
Woo! Hi Eli, how's it going?
Say hi. Say hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Say I've been pottying
Hi.
in the potty.
We tried it and buddy.
Oh hell yeah, I'm still working on that.
Josh Josh said he's still working on that. Can you believe it? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, today I figured it'd be pretty chill. We do have a little bit of a focus on MagiKids. So Nathan can tell us a little bit about that organization, and then we'll get and they recommended or they requested us build an Oathbreaker deck that we haven't really stepped our feet into that realm because we're more commander focused. So we'll dive into Oathbreaker and that how to play Magic the Gathering a little bit differently than we have been.
Yeah.
And I actually threw together a fun little Oathbreaker deck, and then I figured I could share that with you guys. You can tell me what you think about it, and then see where the episode goes from there. Sound good with everyone?
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, but before we get into that, how's everyone been?
Been pretty
Pretty good.
good. We're like I said, we're in the middle of potty training mode. So Eli's been getting stickers and candy for using the bathroom, and today he's only had two accidents, so that's pretty good. So
Nice. Like
um
it's already beaten me.
yeah. And then Keith and I went to a comic book show, and it was pretty cool. You want to talk about that, Keith?
Sure. We went to this place in the state fairgrounds for a comic book show. They just had a few vendors set up there and an artist and selling some old knickknacks too. It was pretty cool.
There were some patty
Nathan
whacks
got
there
some
too.
signatures, so did his brother. The artist recently just did art for the Magic set, so
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know
I,
more about that than I do.
Yeah, John Tyler Christopher, he did a handful of art for the Marvel superhero set. He also did some for the Final Fantasy set and Spider-Man set. So he's a really big Marvel and DC uh, cover artist, and works a lot with negative space and just really cool Photoshop type stuff. And he's super awesome. And super nice guy, and it was really cool to figure out that he's from Lafayette, so he's not from very far away. So it's cool to have somebody like that in your own backyard. He said he used to live in Atlanta, and his commute to his office was like over an hour, and now his commute is under 3 minutes. And he drives a car that's hybrid. So last year he spent something like $50 for the whole year just to go to work. So I mean, he probably beat everyone else unless they bike or work from home. Oh, pretty dang
yeah,
impressive.
yeah, yeah. Say anything new in your world? So you're muted, Sam.
Nope. Just like
Okay.
the sound was. Not at all. Nothing at all.
Just
Just
just a
like the
void.
sound, there's nothing.
Yep.
Nothing here.
Okay, so yeah. So before we get into the meat of the episode, Nathan, you want to tell everyone a little bit about the organization Magic Kids?
Yeah, so MagiKids is a great organization. They're a nonprofit, and their whole thing is just teaching kids how to play Magic. And taking in donations of people's unwanted bulk, and donating it to schools and helping different teachers kind of start like a magic club and teach kids how to play this wonderful game, which, teaches kids math. It teaches them how to read. It teaches them critical thinking. It teaches them a whole bunch of different skills that any kid can use on like on every single day. And then it also helps them come together and build that social network that everybody needs and everybody, kind of thrives for. And, if you're playing it in school, then you go to college just like we did, and then you start making friends and you just build those lifelong relationships that way. So it's an awesome organization. And I forgot that they were the ones that came up. They were the ones that, you know, made the format Oathbreaker in the first place. So when they said, hey, for the coolest thing that you could do is make a couple Oathbreaker decks, I was like, of course, like we will totally do that. Any organization that's, helping out kids and, a part of the game that we love a lot, we're all for it.
Yeah, doing like good thing about Magic, I mean, excluding Arena, I would say, is it gets you kind of away from a screen and gets you in the real world, present with people, like focusing on like the same game, like building up your armies, and just it's just that immersion, that experience is just such a great experience. It made us fall in love with the game. It's cool that the kids get to experience that too, and all the bulk you're not using could just go there. If it's just taking up space in your house, it's a good place to put it.
Yeah, they build these super cool kits, like these giant boxes, and they're just full with like play mats and dice and cards and just everything that you need to start a club and make sure that everybody's, got some good cards and a way to build some great decks and have a good time. So it's really cool. If they're all over social media, so if you go check it out, you can see what they do. You can also see kind of what the kits look like and things like that. And if you're interested in starting one of these, you can reach out to them and they will help you figure out what you need to do to start one of, a Magic Kids at your school or wherever you're thinking of building one.
Yeah, that's really really cool. Thanks for filling us in. And before we go into the build, it might be helpful if we talk about what Oathbreaker actually is. So I'll kind of go into overview over the format. So Oathbreaker is a multiplayer format, much like Commander. You play with 3 to 5 players, and instead of having a legendary creature at the helm of your deck, you have a planeswalker, and you have a signature spell for that planeswalker. Now, the it's similar to Commander, where your planeswalker, if it's removed, you can put it back into your command zone, and it costs 2 more to cast the next time you would attempt to cast it. And same with the signature spell that comes with your commander. And that spell, when it resolves, it doesn't go to the graveyard. It goes back to the command zone, and then it costs 2 more to cast uh, for each time you cast it. Now, the with that, your deck is similar to Commander. Your deck has to be consistent of cards within your
Color
Planeswalker's
ID.
color
Yep.
identity. Yes, and then your signature spell also needs to match that Planeswalker color identity. And the ban list and the cards you're allowed to use is very similar to Commander, but there is one key difference from our format and Oathbreaker. And Oathbreaker does not allow Soul Ring because that is fast mana that they feel throws off the game. So Soul Ring is banned in Oathbreaker. So keep those out of your Oathbreaker decks. And but yeah, that's essentially it. There's also like obviously no commander damage because
Mhm.
your I guess you can turn your planeswalker into a creature, but they just decided not to do anything with commander damage. So
Yeah.
your planeswalker dealing damage you doesn't kill them. You play with only 20 life, so you're after 21 damage they're dead anyway. So
Yeah, and your deck's only 60 cards instead of 100, and it's still singleton though, so you can't have multiple copies unless the card says you can have multiple copies, right, Josh?
Correct. Singleton, and except for basic lands,
Right, right.
yep, except for basic lands. But also, something to keep in mind is it's 60 total, so it's like the Planeswalker, the signature spell, then 59. I mean 58 in the deck.
Right.
Math. So I need Magic Kids to teach me math too.
Right.
Well, without further ado, do you guys want to see my silly little brainchild I came up with for to demonstrate Oathbreaker?
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
let's see it.
Here we go.
Okay.
I'm scrolled down a little bit. There we go.
It's all good. So I call this gruel and unusual. So with that, we have my favorite planeswalker of all time, Domri Rade. Rip. He is for one red and a green. You have legendary planeswalker Domri. His +1 ability, you look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you reveal it and put it into your hand. His -2, target creature you control fights another target creature. His -7, you get an emblem. Creatures you control have double strike, trample, hexproof, and haste. They get the keyword soup if you pop them if he pops off at 7, which is pretty sick.
Nice.
The signature spell I chose is Signal the Clans. It is instant for Gruul, so red and a green. Felt very fitting for the theme. And you search your library for 3 creature cards and reveal them. If you reveal 3 cards with different names, choose one of them at random and put the that card into your hand and shuffle the rest into your library. So it will help us toolbox our creature deck. And with that, we will dive into the build. If you'll notice,
Your
Nathan
literal creature deck.
Nathan had me. I was like, "Hey, I don't know if you know this, but the deck's supposed to be 60 card total. Like, I only got the creatures of it." It was like, "No, that's the thing. It's all creatures and lands."
That's the
The
thing.
Domri and the signature spell are the only non-creatures in this deck. So generally, we're gonna need ramp for this creature package. So essentially, the components of this deck, in my mind, we need ramp. We need, because we're not running instants and sorceries, we need permanent removal attached to our creatures, and then we need things to cheat out our big creatures ahead of schedule, and we need big creatures that in the game, or and make it so our opponents make the restriction of us only playing creature spells gas our strategy and hamstring their strategy. So without further ado, we'll dive into it, and I'll kind of explain some of the rationale as we go through. But starting off the top, we get some of our mana dorks. At the 1 drop, we have the Elvish Mystic, taps for green. We have the Landmar Elves, in some places pronounced Yanawar Elves. It also taps for a green. We have a Wasteland Viper, which is a fun little combat trick in a all creature strategy, because Blood Rush, you can discard it, and target attacking creature gets +1, +2, and Death Touch until end of turn. So that's a fun little thing stapled to a creature that you can do at instant speed. And then we have Goblin Aromancer. He is farming Aura, as the kids say, and he reduces the cost of your green and red spells by 1. We have ourselves a Masked Vandal for 1 and a green. It's a changeling, and then whenever it enters, you can exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, you can exile target artifact or enchantment opponent controls. So that's some of our permanent removal stapled to one of our creatures. We have a Dork and a Beater in the same package with Ruby Darling Tracker. For Gruul, we have a Hasty Scout with whenever it attacks, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, she gets +2/+2, and she taps for a red or a green, so great for mana fixing. And we have good old Steve, the Sakura Tribe Elder, 1 and a green. You can sacrifice them, look for a land, throw it in the battlefield tapped, call it a day. And we have the Zerta Druid. He's Gruul, taps for green, and then whenever he taps for mana, he deals 1 damage to each opponent.
Nice.
And now we're going to make things a little lopsided for our creatures with Archetype of Aggression. Creatures you control have trample. Creatures your opponents control They don't have trample anymore. Yeah. Then we have Augur of Autumn, 1 and 2 green. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You can play lands from the top of your library. And then it has a Coven special ability. As long as you control 3 creatures with different powers, you can play creatures from the top of your library as well. Then one of my favorite cards from Lorwyn Eclipse, Chomping Changeling. Some permanent removal stapled to that cute little face. 2 and a green. Get yourself a shapeshifter who enters and destroys target artifact or enchantment. Then we have a tutor stapled to a body here with our Fierce Empath. 2 and a green. When he enters, you search your library for a creature card with converted mana 6 or greater and throw it into your hand. Then the first piece of our punishing our opponents for playing non-creature spells is Gleeful Arsonist. Whenever the opponent casts a non-creature spell, Gleeful Arsonist deals damage equal to its power to that player, and that has Undying. So if it dies, it comes back with a +1/+1 counter. We have another Blood Rush piece with Pyre Wild Shaman. You can discard him and pay 1 and a red. Attacking creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn. He also has the added ability of whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, and he's in your graveyard, you can pay 3 and throw him back into your hand. So that's like a repeatable pump spell that only you're not casting it, you're discarding it. So it's pretty sick. And then we have oldie but a goodie, Reclamation Sage, Elf Shaman for 2 and a green, enters, you destroy target artifact or enchantment. Then we need a little draw on this, and so we have ourselves a Runic Armisar. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of a creature or land that isn't a mana ability, you draw a card. Then we're going to ramp ourselves to the moon with our big, strong creatures with Savala, Heart of the Wild. 1 and 2 green for an Elf Scout. Whenever creature enters, if its power is the greatest, that creature's controller draws a card. And then green, tap, you add X, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Then more draw, we have Beast Whisperer, 2 and 2 green for a Elf Druid. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you draw a card. And now we get into the first piece of our cheating stuff in package, which is the Elvish Piper. 3 and a green, you can pay for an Elf Shaman, and then you can pay a green and tap her to put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. Then another strong Blood Rusher for 2, a red and a green. You could play him as a 4/4 Trampler, which is pretty respectable, but more likely you're going to pay a red and a green, discard him, and give a target attacking creature +4/+4 and trample. Goreclaw, Terror of Qualsisma. It's the 3 and a green bear. Creatures you control with power 4 or greater cost 2 less to cast, and then whenever Goreclaw attacks, each creature you control with power 4 or greater gets +1/+1 and trample until end of turn.
Nice.
Then more cheating stuff in. We have Kona Rescue Beastie. For 3 and a green, we get a 4/3 Beast Survivor and then Survival. At the beginning of your second main phase, if Kona Rescue Beastie is tapped, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. Onto the battlefield untapped. Even better. Then we're going to try to get our huge guys down quick. So we're going to do something real risky. We're going to play ourselves a Lava Leaper. 3 and a red. All creatures have haste. And then whenever a player taps a basic land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of any type that land produces. Then cheating more stuff in with Ovaya, Automech Artisan. Creatures that are attacking your opponents have trample, which is nice because it affects your opponents who are attacking your other opponents as well. So it's a nice little incentive for them to attack them because the damage goes through because you just gave all their stuff trample. Pretty neat. And then for green, you can tap it and you can put a creature or vehicle card from your hand onto the battlefield. If it's an artifact, you put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Then a piece of instant speed protection. We have Agnesar Rex. It's a for 3 and 2 yeah, 3 and 2 green. You could have a 8/8 trampling dinosaur, which is pretty nice. Or you can cycle it for 2 and a green, and when you cycle it, put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature or vehicle. It gains trample and indestructible until end of turn. Then one of my favorite cards of all time, Nikya of the Old Ways. 3, a red, a green. You get yourself a legendary Centaur Druid. You can't cast non-creature spells. Big whoop for this deck. Literally not an inconvenience. And whenever you tap a land for mana, you add 1 mana of any type that land produced. Then some more draw and some pretty nasty things, which with other aspects of our deck, we have Oran Frostfang. It's a snow creature snake for 3 and 2 green, and then whenever attacking creatures you control have Death Touch, and then whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. And my favorite of the Blood Rush effects is stapled to Wrecking Ogre. 4 and a red, you could have a 3/3 double striking Ogre Warrior, or for 3 and 2 red, you can discard him, and target attacking creature you control gets +3/+3 and double strike.
Wow.
Now, one of the main cards this deck is built around is Ruakthar, the unhowled. He is a 6/6 Vigilance Reach Ogre Warrior legend for 4 red and green. And then he attacks each turn if able, and then also whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, Ruakthar deals 6 damage to that player. Absolutely crippling if anyone's trying to fling spells, especially in a format where you only have 20 life.
Yeah.
Then some just gas. We have the Savage of Ventmaw. You have a 4/4 dragon for 4, a red and a green. Whenever he attacks, you add 3 red and 3 green to your mana pool, and you don't lose it as phases end. So you pretty much get his mana value every time he swings, which is great for getting more things into play. Like our Soul Harvester, who costs 6, so 4 and 2 green. Trample, whenever another non-token creature you control enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. Then we have Archetype of Endurance for 6 and 2 green. You have creatures you control have Hexproof. Creatures your opponents control lose Hexproof, and it is a 6/5. Then another big Blood Rusher for 6 and 2 green. We have a 9/9 Trampler called Skarg Goliath. This beast can be played normal, or you can Blood Rush him for 5 and 2 green. You can discard him, and target creature gains +9/+9 and trample till end of turn. Probably going to take your opponents out with that swing. And then lastly, one of the most nasty cards for this deck specifically is the Nullstone Gargoyle. It's 9 mana for an artifact creature who's a 4/5. So 9 for a 4/5 doesn't seem fair, but in this deck, it's cracked because whenever the first non-creature spell each turn is played, counter that spell. So if you have that and Ruakthar out, they have to take 12 damage before they can remove your Ruakthar with a non-creature spell. And in a 20 life format, they're pretty much dead.
That's so gross.
Yeah. And so the land base, I try to stay to a budget land base. So I have a lot of the lands that come in like precons and stuff these days. So like your Cinder Glade that enters tapped unless you have 2 or more basic lands. Your Copper Line Gorge, which is similar but comes in tapped if you control 2 or fewer lands. Then we got the 9 forest, 8 mountains. We have the Game Trail. You can reveal a forest or a mountain that comes in untapped. We have the Carpulson Forest. You can tap it for a colorless, or you take a damage for tapping it for either of our colors. We have one of my favorite lands is Kessig Wolf Run. It can tap for colors, or you can pay X red and a green. Target creature you control gets +X+O and gains trample until end of turn. Pretty nasty. We have a filter land with Mossfire Valley. Tap of colors, tap it to get both colors of our mana. And lastly, the Rootbound Crag enters tapped unless you control a forest or mountain. And with that, we have our first Oathbreaker deck. Thoughts, opinions?
Woo.
I think this is a fun deck. I do have like 4 cards that I'd like to have you consider to add to your considering pile. I'm not saying they need to go in, but there's 4 cards that I think would be fun in this deck. Are you okay if I just
Oh,
if I just
absolutely.
kind of
Yeah,
name
sit
them
down.
off? So the first
Yeah.
one's Finn the Fangbearer. So Finn costs 1 and a green. He's a human warrior, 1/3 death touch. Whenever a creature you control with death touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. I just think he'd be really fun if you have Orin Frostfang out. So um, that'd be a good one. And then the next one is, let's see if I can. Um, Trorian Mauler for 2 and a red is a 2/2 shapeshifter with changeling. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. Um, so there's that one. And then Questing Beasts. I know that it used to be a little bit more expensive, but anyway, Questing Beast for 2 and 2 green, legendary creature beast 4/4, vigilance, death touch, haste. Questing Beast can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. Combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented. Whenever Questing Beast deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to target planeswalker that player controls. So in this format where you're using a planeswalker, I think that would be a fun one to put in there. And then the last one is this little feller. I don't know where he went. Uh-oh. I thought I clicked on him.
Oh, it's an instant. Scroll down.
I'm putting the wrong thing in here. Hold on. It's because it's this guy that I've been trying to put in here. Ilrog the Raise Boar for 3 and 2 red is a 6/6 boar god with trample. Whenever this creature attacks, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Return that creature to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. When this creature dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's library, third from the top. So it's a way to get these big creatures out that you want, and then you're just going to be doing that damage, and then they kind of go away, and then you get to keep just doing that kind of stuff. So let me get rid of these 2 instants that I did not mean to put in here. Um, it's just the way that I'm seeing you guys on my screen while I'm trying to type. You're covering up the search bar, so I can't see what cards I'm
Yeah.
picking out sometimes.
You get, yeah. So, and then I think if you did want to take it into the direction like with the poison, they have the various frogs that you could
Oh
put
yeah,
in for the uh for the mana dorks. There's
yeah,
like multiple like frogs that are like 1 in a green and with death touch that tap for mana, and so that'd be a good
Yeah,
way
the
to
new
do it.
one.
Then also with Domri making it so your creatures can fight other creatures, it would convert anything with Death Touch into a kill spell.
yeah.
So kind of having that bonus synergy stapled um, to our creatures is definitely a fun direction to do it. I think in my head, I was just thinking of just like when you give something +9/+9 and trample in a 20 life
Oh
format, I
yeah,
figured that was enough to get it done. But
yeah.
you could absolutely do a nickel and dime strategy with this, with poison and stuff like that. I mean, if you could give the gleeful arsonist poison and stuff like that, that could be pretty nasty too. Is does it have to be combat damage with Finn or um
Um, I, d- I don't know. Let's go check. Let's go look in the considering real quick. Whenever a creature you control with death touch deals combat damage, yeah.
Oh, it has to be combat damage. Well, anyway, but yeah, I think you could absolutely do kind of a fun little nickel and dime control strategy with Death Touch, especially with Domri's minus. So that a little extra Death Touch would not hurt if you wanted to capitalize on that second ability
Yeah.
more.
Keith?
Love all the utilities stapled to all the creatures. I have some maybes, but they're like big maybes. One would be Toski for extra card draw, also indestructible. Toski, Bearer of Secrets, can't be countered, indestructible, attacks each combat if able, and whenever creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card.
Okay.
I
And
like it.
the other one, probably just Protean Hulk, just to cheat out a whole bunch of creatures at the same time.
What, Bubby? You did? Wow.
It's Protean. Oh, one too many E's.
Yeah, you said EEAN. So I was just doing whatever you
Protean
said.
Hulk.
Protein Hulk. Look for it in your grocery store. Yeah. Yeah, so 5 and 2 green whenever it enters or is input into your graveyard from play, search your library for any number of creature cards with total converted mana cost 6 or less and put them into play,
Yeah.
then shuffle. Yeah, so
Just a
classic
maybe. I think
classic
it'd
kind
play
of
pretty
combo piece.
well without
Yeah.
those even.
I know like Protein Hulk's been banned in some formats. I don't know if it's banned in this one or not. So
No,
we
it would
might
say
double check.
would
Cool.
if you put it
Yeah,
in
probably
here,
wouldn't let
it
us
would
add
throw
it.
up a little. See, let's try and put Soul Ring in here real quick.
Yeah.
See it how it's red.
Yeah, that's smart. That's a fun like little like Wakanda Soul Ring from that Marvel
Yeah.
set. But yeah,
What do you got, Sam? Do you have anything that you'd
I
put in here or
have,
thoughts on the deck?
because he wants to be creature heavy, all about swinging. I think we need the almighty mole god, Anzrag the Quake Mole. The 2 red and a green, 4 mana total, 8/4 mole god. Whenever Anzrag becomes blocked, untap each creature control. After this phase, there's additional combat phase. If you tap 3, 2 red and 2 green, Anzrag
Oh.
must be blocked each combat this turn, if able.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, that's real nasty.
That's
That'd
dirty.
that would be a fine
Yeah.
addition.
I got-
Definitely. Yeah.
I got that confused with the boar or whatever Nathan was adding.
Yeah. That's super fun. All right. So we should go through here and add our themes here. So we have some +1/+1s in here.
I don't know if we do.
we
They
don't?
don't stick. No, I don't think so.
Oh, they don't stay around. Okay,
No,
great.
no, it's a pass. It's like banner effects.
Okay.
Definitely aggro.
Okay. What makes you say that? I'm just kidding.
You know, it's working through some stuff.
This is definitely budget. This is a $47 deck, by the way.
That's something.
So-
But because it was like for MagiKids, I did try to keep
It's not really casual.
the budget. It's casual because it doesn't really combo. This is like a 20. It's meant to be a faster format than Commander, so it's
Okay,
not as
all right.
yeah, it's not as battle cruisery of a format.
I'd say it is competitive too, because it's like
I was looking up some other lists. I promise you, this deck is not
it's not
competitive.
okay. All right. Okay. All right. I know nothing.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
So for what is banned and what is competitive and things that need to be banned, Saheeli's one of the Saheelis is banned as a planeswalker because of the artifacts energies. So artifacts is definitely the gross way to take this, and that's
Nice.
where it's the most competitive. But we broke that mold, and we can break artifacts with our creatures if we want. So that's fun. Okay, then did we find?
Yeah, we got Gruul already.
Okay, cool. Honestly, yeah. I think that might just be about it. It's pretty creature based. Just it's a pretty simple deck, but we can do
What
some
description
fun
would you like?
Um,
Play non-creature spells at your own risk.
yes.
Basically.
And then, like with the deck list, one thing I did want to mention is how important the signal of the clan is, because I have multiple, like early game, you might need to grab ramp. So there's you could grab 3 pieces of ramp, and then no matter what, you're getting a ramp. There's 3 different creatures that can cheat things in. So you can grab all 3 of those if you have a nasty thing in your opening hand, or if you need to grab a piece of the end game. There's the Rookthar and the other game enders. You could figure out a way to close it with that, the gargoyle, or the 9/9 trampler. So you have nastiness in 3s throughout the deck. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. And it's nice that it only costs 2, so then you're not paying like a whole bunch to play it again. And we've got ways to make extra mana, so you've got, it's not going to hurt you too much to play it multiple times.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. It's a nice little toolbox built in, and then if you have Nikya out, you shouldn't need it anymore. You should have overrun the game and have it from there. But yeah, so that was our first Oathbreaker deck. Thank you, MagiKids, for pitching the idea to us. We love the format. It was really fun to build something outside of the world of Commander. So I think we were looking to build a couple more Oathbreaker decks, right?
Yeah, so up next, let's have Sam build an Oathbreaker decks next. And then Keith, you'll be after Sam, and then I'll do the 4th one.
Yeah, then do we want to maybe rack them up some way, like online, like Moxfield or something like that, and then run them
I
against
think
each
that'd
other?
be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, let's build them, and then we can crash them against each other and see who survives.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
Ooh.
So this is a good time. That
Yeah.
deck was gross. So I'm excited. Oh, I want to show you guys. I kind of talked about it on our page, but just in case you didn't see, I was able to pick up 2 of the comics that are the full arts for this set. So I got the She-Hulk and I got Ultron. So
Nice, good cops.
two pickups during the show. And then this is one of my favorite comics of all time. Just super cool. So
Yeah,
I was excited to pick that puppy up. So
nice.
yeah. Don't forget, July 25th, we are doing a big get together for nonprofits. So it's our gathering for good on that day. So it's going to be a fun day. And if anyone's interested in joining us or joining in, reach out to us and let us know, because we'd love to do a whole bunch of help for a whole bunch of different places. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's all I've got, Josh.
Yeah, with that, does this episode resolve?
I think it resolves.
Yes, sirs.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Bye.
See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Hexproof from Ward. If you liked what you heard, you can continue to listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube. You can give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. We'll see you next week.